Ah, there we go. Everything should be a little bit okay now. I do apologize about the weird fumble at the start. Ah, yes. Today's show will be pretty good, as the title could probably tell you. Our plan today is to do a little best of 3 video in Historic on Merfolk, Simic Merfolk in particular. Of course, in a minute once I have everything opened up and ready to go, we'll go ahead and switch over to the actual deck view. And as usual, I'll try and do a little, what's the word? Kind of deck tech thing on it. And then we'll, again, like usual, do 2, maybe 3 games, just to try and show the deck working when it's like really doing well. Of course, doing well doesn't always mean like a win. A deck can still lose and still kind of do what you need to do. So, with that, we'll transfer over. There we go. Transition's good. There we go. Get some good background music so we can actually enjoy things. And with that, we should move on to the actual deck tech in question. Again, this is basically Simic Merfolk for Historic Best of 3. I just call it the Professor's Tribe because we all know the Professor himself loves some Merfolk, and I must admit, so do I. Merfolk basically works as it does in really any format, for the most, or well, most constructed formats that you could think of. Of course, Commander's a bit of an oddball. We're basically a Merfolk deck that likes to take advantage of the several lords we have in the format, in the form of Merfolk Mistbinder. Very simple, green and a blue for a 2/2 Merfolk Shaman, or other Merfolk you control, get +1/+1. Very simple lore. I have 3 copies of Metallic Mimic. Of course, Metallic Mimic being Metallic Mimic, it can be whatever tribe you need it to be. But, of course, for our case, or for our deck here today, it would be filling the role of, we'll call it another lord. It's not a lord in the traditional sense like a Mistbinder is or a Reejery is, in that it does not give a static +1/+1 buff, but it's more like an Una's Blackguard for rogues, which, spoiler, that might be our next video, or our next deck tech is Dimir Rogues. But anywho, back to Merfolk in question today. While the how do I explain this properly? The Metallic Mimic, while yes, it doesn't give the static benefit, sometimes you want the +1/+1 counter more so than the static buff. Of course, it can vary from situation to situation. It's also, deep down at the end of the day, it's just another Merfolk Lord for 2 mana. Those are the basic big boy bits of the deck, is Mistbinder, Metallic Mimic, basic 2 mana lords, and the 3rd lord that we have access to for Merfolk in the format, which is Merfolk Reejery. 2 and a blue for Merfolk Soldier, other Merfolk get +1/+1, and, more important than one might think, is the second line of text. Whenever you cast a Merfolk spell, you can tap or untap target permanent. This can be tapping down blockers, untapping mana to, say, be able to cast another, say, Merfolk Windrobber or Kumena's Speaker. But more often than not, or ideally, should be used to tap down defenders. But again, if you need to, say, summon more creatures, or to hold up, say, negates or what have you, it can do that just fine. Also, on the note of the Windrobber and the Speaker, they're just very good 1-drop Merfolks that can get pretty big. Or, well, the Speaker can get pretty big. The Windrobber is just a nice 1/1 that the mill is sometimes nice. It's not really the whole point. It's just a evasive Merfolk with flying that you can, if you need to, cash in for a card draw. Censor, just a good a good tempo fudging little counterspell of sorts. Negates, because control-y, value-y decks run rampant in this format, so you need a couple of those. River Sneak, sort of in the same vein as the Wind Robber, is just a 2-mana ultimate evasive creature in that it just can't be blocked, and can get pretty big if you manage to play a couple of other Merfolks in a turn. Merfolk Branchwalker, really Merfolk Branchwalker and Jadelight Ranger basically are 2/3 of the Explore package from Days of Old, if you remember that like I do. In this case, it's just a 2-mana 2/1 that sometimes basically helps you to curate your draws, sort of, kind of. Explore is a great mechanic. It's basically more card draw in Merfolk, is practically how it works. Jadelight Ranger is basically the same thing for 1 more mana. It just explores again. Again, whether that turns out being a draw or a filter or the creature itself being big will vary from situation to situation. I have 2 Kumenas in the deck. It's not the greatest card, but it's not awful because of the modular effect that you are given when you have access to, say, idle Merfolk. It can be very useful, and I feel like if you're running it, it's on flavor to run it. Might as well run 2 Uros because it's pretty much one of the strongest cards in the format. It's basically it's life gain if you need it in game 1. It's ramp and draw, just which every deck loves. And it's also, when you escape it for its cost, it helps you also make use of a more than likely repeatedly wrathed and destroyed board, and it can also just be another big dude, along with Kumena, that can help close out the game. We have 3 copies of Collected Company. Part 1, honestly, because I only have 3, and I'm saving up all this gold for Kaldheim. But even then, I don't think the 4th is totally necessary. You aren't going to die if you don't get it. Land base is pretty simple. I just have 4 breeding pools and some hinterland harbors. If you have some of the, I guess they're called fast lands, the sanctums. Let me see if I can find those. That we should probably do. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. If you have, say, a sanctum or 2, and you say you don't have breeding pool, basically just put whatever air quote fast lands that you can get in here if your budget is what's the word, or your budget or your collection is somewhat restricted. Avoid, if you can, running things like temples or the like, I think they're like Thornwood Falls that gain tap land. You are an aggro deck at your core. You want to very much so limit the amount of tap lands. It's important that you hit the ground early and you don't let up. And if, say, of course, if all you have is a couple of temples, don't run any more than like 2, and you'll be okay. It's just fast lands are ideal, as is most the case, or is mostly the case with your average aggro deck. Simple look at the sideboard. Couple of negates, because again, non-creature value planeswalkery. An aggro player like me's worst nightmare runs rampant. Heroic Intervention, because I think there is, last I checked, like somewhere in the mid-20s. I think it's like, yeah, somewhere in the mid-20s. It's like 25, 26, I think. Sweepers, something in that neighborhood. Return to Nature, nice modal card. Occasionally you have to destroy artifacts or enchantments, or exile, say, opposing Uros, or what have you. So it's just good because you can do a variety of things. Scavenging Ooze sort of hints at the 3rd point we talked about with Return to Nature. It can help you really pick apart an opponent's graveyard for key cards, and if you're really, really desperate, it can be used in more burny aggro matchups to gain life. Wild Growth Walker is the 3rd piece of the old Explore package. And this is the guaranteed, if you are running into burn or aggro decks, this is the first card you bring in to help kind of deal with that problem. We have a single copy of Teferi, Master of Time. We bring these in, ideally, in the same instance we bring in, say, like Negates and Heroic Interventions, where we're probably going to need to go a little bit longer. Teferi is a good way to somewhat help with that. Of course, these +1 and -3s are pretty evident for card selection and removing blockers, respectively. And of course, if you can get to the -10, as no matter how much you take out in the sideboard, you should still have enough creature power to ideally win with the 2 extra turns you'll get. Hydroid Krasis is and can be multiple things or fill multiple roles against, say, again, really heavy control decks. That it can be a good finisher where you might not have it, or it might be another big chunky finisher on top of the couple you already have. Against aggro, you can get enough life, and against really the whole gambit, the card draw is just a nice little, we can call it a secondary or tertiary little bonus. But that is the basics of our Simic Merfolk guide, our deck tech for today. And again, as we talked about earlier, we'll just try and do 2 or 3 games, and that'll be all for the day. Maybe we can actually get some quests done also, which would be great. Well, that didn't take long at all. That's somebody with an Angrath. That's nice touch. Nice touch. Let's come on, game. You gonna explode on me? There we go. And of course, we're an aggro deck. Anybody with a brain knows you always play first, regardless. This is a pretty good opener, honestly. A 1-drop and a protective 2-drops. If we draw a 3rd land, we have a Merfolk Reejerey. With these 2 creatures and maybe a Kumena if we really need to. We just stick a couple of creatures early on and just try and defend and play around those. We're like a good mix of like aggro and tempo deck. Alright, so Breeding Pool. Shock it in for the Wind Robber. Alright. Untap Steam Vents from the opponent. And he eats a Spike Field. Sucks a little bit, but it'll be fine. Because we're really honestly pretty dependent on the 3rd land, we're actually going to cycle the Censor. I think if he... That's good. We actually got the land. We'll go ahead and... We'll go ahead and shock the Breeding Pool in now when our life total isn't really a concern. I think we'll play Kumena, as I imagine he's probably sitting on a Stomp or Shock or some sort of spell that will be able to kill our Reejerey. Of course, if he could play like a Lava Coil on his turn, and we'd be miserable, but we'll be fine. Ooh, some sort of like spell slingery style deck. Let's see. Okay, so Young Pyromancer makes the token on cast. It doesn't need to be upon resolution of it, so there's no point in trying to hold it, really. We will, however, go ahead and tap the now untapped Reejerey. Gonna try and attempt to out-aggro them. At the rate we're going, this might be a simple, like, maybe we bring in, like, a Wild Growth Walker to do what we need. These Spellslinger style decks as... Well, that sucks. But these, yeah, Spellslinger decks will usually only operate around a couple of really big creatures. Oh trouble. Huh. I think the plan is still the same. Okay, so he hits for 1, 2, 3, 4. I hit for 3. I think we're gonna try and like transition to like a control-y sort of thing going on here. You're 3 color. Team or something. I don't think Explore works as card draw. Goes top card, put the card. Okay, yeah, put the card into your hand. It's not draw. Kind of like Narset, actually. It is not technically. What in the hell are you? I mean, I'm in it. You have my attention. We'll just go ahead and play the Secret Keeper. I think we'll tap this down. It's giving him priority for something. Main question being what? I think we're actually going to keep that on top. I think we're gonna tap you, and then we're just gonna get directly in and kill the... No, Max. Gotta remember to actually go to combat properly. And we have the negate, so we can just sit here and hold on it. Again, that was clearly the correct move to make it unblockable. I don't know what your deck is trying to do, but I'm interested. Smoky Doll. Are you gonna attack? I think I'm actually gonna untap a land. Take action. See what the Explore trigger gives us. We're okay with that. I'm gonna be honest, even if you... You know, I could actually graveyard that and kind of be alright. We'll play the Wind Robber. Untap another one of our lands. And hopefully these two pretty evasive creatures will kind of give us what we need to... What the hell? Okay, we are gonna negate that. We kind of need the Reejerey for this to work. If you have a Spell Pierce, I'm gonna hate my goddamn life. Okay, that's better. That could have been a goddamn nightmare, to be entirely frank. Okay, so we'll do you. Well, crap, I already targeted the thing. I guess we take the action now. Might as well. But let it be known that I was not exactly... You know what? Actually, I think we can afford to wait a turn, and then on his end step, we can slowly grow our board while building thicker... Hey! He just scoops! The original plan was to wait till his end step. We would use Kumena's final ability to tap our now stalled board. If we needed to, we could also do it in response to combat, but we try and save that. At which point, then, I think we could progressively build larger than they could hope to, like, mess with us on. That's the hope, anyway. We take out a couple of sensors, because this is going to be a lot of non-creatures, so negate's a good one here. That is the question. I weirdly don't think we need River Sneaks that much. I think we'll put in a couple of Wild Growths, and I might take out... Well... I think we can take out one Kumena for another Wild Growth. avid aggro player myself, there's been plenty of times where an opponent has gotten off really any more than like 3 or 4, and 4 is like you're hoping and praying. Activation of the Wild Growth Walker before I just like accepted the fact that a game was over. Opponent goes first. No, let's not. We're doing good. Let's not, yeah, throw this with a bad keep. We have more green cards in the hand, so we'll chuck the old school land. We'll keep the Bob Ross one. Hey! Got lucky and drew into a Wind Robber. Turn 1. Now, if he has a... well, I think we're going to actually Metallic Mimic here. Go to Merfolk, or name Merfolk. So this way... I mean, we're probably going to lose one of these dudes anyway. But if I can get the Reejery down, we're cooking. This might have been a bad call. Alright. Okay, so we'll go ahead and shock ourselves to bring in Breeding Pool untapped. And then Merfolk Reejery. You know, in a weird, bizarro twist of events, if he takes the trade, I'm okay with that. If he takes the trade, then I can just play the Merfolk Mistbinder. And he doesn't, weirdly. I mean, good on you, I suppose. I think we will just... well, he only has 1 land. So I think the correct play here is to Mistbinder and then tap down the Pyromancer. Because he's not getting the game isn't giving him priority to like do something with. So I believe he has like bricked a land that he probably needed. So I'm hoping this will be our chance to... I think we've got it, honestly. He's got to like really make something happen here. Which, granted, he could do. But I think our opponent is slowly slipping away with this. He got the land drop, which is good. Okay, so he abrades the Metallic Mimic, which is fine. Weirdly, you could have also used the Destroy Target Artifact, a bit of that. Okay, since... okay, so if I attack, and he blocks all 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, he can kill... I think we're just gonna play it safe. He could all of his creatures, or put all of his creatures in front of one of our lords and kill it. We're ahead. We got a game up on him. Let's just be smart and just like let him punch himself out. We'll be cool. Go ahead and collect a company. He might have a negate for this, which I would not put past him. Or some sort of counterspell fudgery. Oh, I could have shot that in and been good. Dang it. I mean, fine. I mean, we've got it still. Like, life is golden. Oh, you do not have a... not today, sir. Oh, Reejery. Yeah, it's still the right thing to do. It's not gonna do much, but... you know what? We can actually untap one of our lands and at least feign that we have something. And just hope the dude doesn't call our bluff. There we go. Everything's still running on that front. Honestly, the speaker's kind of a really big thing right now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tap down a Pyromancer and just any one of the elemental tokens. Tap and tap. Okay, he could, if he wanted to, He's given it priority. He's probably going to cast a spell, create another blocker, but I'm threatening lethal right now, so he literally has to. 2, 3, you have to block the other one. Sucks a little bit, but he's clearly on the back foot. This is one of those classic situations of you just have to make him use it. I don't know if that was the right play. On the bright side, we do get to see what he finds. There is that. Well, hey, that'll do. We will go ahead and just throw the speaker at him. He might. I mean, the smart move is to take the block, but he could technically not, because it's not like I'm running the Wizards deck like we did in our last video, which you can find on the YouTube channel. So we're not going to have any sort of reach. Hey, did he brick? Hey, he bricked! We shall go ahead and play the Mistbinder, do the same thing. Is that... Okay, so the memory is a sorcery speed thing. Which is something. I am going to pay that mana all day. But I think that's more to, like, scramble and put a blocker out. Go ahead and take the... Yeah. I still think it's the correct thing to do. We might actually just play the land and go face up. Yeah. Just make him have it. Yeah, I was about to say. You could kill it all, or you could just chump, and I, for one, agree with Smokey Doll's decision to just chump. We are in a weird spot of, like... I mean, we were good that we drew something. Blah. Again, same thing. We're going to go ahead and keep the Mistbinder on top. You know I'm going to pay that, but I understand it creates the blocker. It's the smart thing to do. Oh, yeah. So we are going to keep that in the library. Again, we'll go ahead and attack. But whether he chumps or outright kills it, the right play is to make him use it. Gotta apply consistent pressure and all that. Rinse and repeat. Torrential Gearhulk! What are you running? Probably gonna get a commit, or maybe an Abrade. Maybe. That makes this a drastically different thing. I mean, to the man's credit, I suppose, like, it works. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of irritating. It's fine. It's really annoying that we're, like, right there. Is that each player? Oh, right. Because you're being cute. Because it's better to be cute than actually, you know, win the goddamn game. Okay, how much do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I have 5. If he lets anything through, what does he let through? If he lets the wild growth through, I think the correct play is to just... Oh, I'm only attacking with 4. But no, I think we're at the point where we just gotta make him have it. There's a real chance that he's actually gonna come out on top of this. And it's fine. It's all we can hope to do now. God, I hate when people get cute. It's not a good combo. Like, you didn't win the game, you're just stalling. Your deck can't kill me, dude. This is kind of what I meant, though, earlier when I was alluding to the, like, really heavy value decks. It's like my biggest pet peeve in Historic. Is a deck that can't kill me. Oh, there's no way he doesn't have that. I guess we just wait now. Whenever you cast... Oh, okay. It's not really cast. God, this irritates me. Because I have him. We just gotta, like, hit the right card. Now he's gonna... There's no way he doesn't have, like, a sensor or something stupid. What are you doing? Turn target non-land permanent to his hand, create a token of a copy. Fuck, I hate this shit. It's the worst. I hate it so much. God, you just were never gonna be able to kill me, were you? Hang on, let me do this. God, I hate this so much. It's the worst. I literally might just scoop because this dude's annoying me. Alright, I'm out. This is an example of what I alluded to earlier and that I try to do in the beginning of all of these. I clearly had this dude's number all day. I don't believe that's like anybody's questioning that. The deck has effectively done what it was meant to do. So we're just going to go on. I don't really give a shit about the win. That doesn't really mean that much to me. But man, that shit's right. You know what really grinds my gears? All that? God, it's the worst. That's a slow opener, but I literally might as well take it. Nothing to play, so we're not going to shock it in. I don't really think that card... I mean, yeah, it's like... somewhat dumpsters collected company in Oko. But man, I don't even care. Smokey Doll has officially graduated into the fucking annoying class. He probably has another removal spell. But yeah, at this point, if we don't win this game, I don't care. All is well and right in the world. That'll actually do it. Okay, so we do you. Gonna go ahead and untap you. Take action. Go ahead and get rid of the... There, oh, look at me, I'm gonna memory with a Narset on the board because I'm cute combo. It's just... do what one can to deal with really annoying shit like that. I suppose the question is, do I negate this if he decides to? I would argue it's a very bad negate. I say it'd be a very bad negate by like all accounts. If you have a, that's actually getting countered. How much you want to bet? I'd bet $1 that he has something weird like a Sweltering Suns, some red sweeper. Because that's just kind of the way of things. Again, he might actually syncopate this. Or he's sitting on something. He's digging. Alright. Digging and found something? Nope, just digging more. I will gladly take whatever win. No mercy. Death, pain, and destruction. Especially to dudes who contribute to a real bad problem. Ah, son of a bitch. Do we literally just lose? That fucking sucks. Fuck. like right there. If we drew an explore creature, we would have won. We just didn't. So we might not. I think we can still win this, though, so we're going to attempt to be the responsible player and play to our outs. You have... Unless you, like, can kill it somehow. You gotta have something, right? Cycling, looking for something. Make sure to correctly... Yay! Ta-da! Game 1 of it clearly working. And by the time the next video comes out, I will have done enough grinding to at least get through gold. This is... Spoiler for the data this came out. Start of a new season. That's why it's at gold. I'm normally like high plat, and if I find a real good deck, low diamond. But that's why. I think we can afford to do one more, and we should have a pretty good idea of what the deck can do. God, I'd love some soothing Manon Star Wars KOTOR 2 or KOTOR 1, the Manon ambient music is the background tunes for our video today. If you are interested in using similar tracks when you game, because while the arena music is good, relaxing is not what it's going for, which is fine. Okay, this is a weird one, but it's alright. Okay, who runs a Jingatha? Something's a little screwy. I think we'll just Metallic on 2, Regery on 3, assuming things don't go totally sideways. Oh, are you... to be fair, it's been a hot minute since I've ran into Sultai midrange. This will be real fun. What a fascinating turn of events. 4-color. Fine. I can't get too upset because I'm running one of my own. At this point, we're just going to try and evenly split our mana base. There's a real chance this still, like, dies to something weird and screwy. Assuming nothing happens to our board, the plan will be to play a forest, drop the Uro, put an island onto the battlefield, and then hold a sensor. And then just try and... What is that? Try to break through. That clearly is not going according to plan. Wait, are you a Niv Mizzet Reborn deck? I mean, alright, if you are. That's actually not that bad. Okay, so I think the plan will stay the same, but we're actually gonna... Instead of... Well... I guess that's the real big question. If he cracks it, Niv Mizzet... Okay, so we've got... He's missing a white source? My gut says to hold the sensor. Why did he not crack the Fable Passage? Okay, when you go ahead and like just start throwing conventional wisdom out the window, then I'm flying blind here. Why are you not... I mean, I guess you don't crack it during your opponent's turn. Okay, so then we're gonna Metallic Mimic again. And then we'll Mistbinder, and again, just hold the sensor. I don't care about what he's ramping, or how he's ramping, I care about what he's ramping to. Oh, this has to be Niv Mizzet Reborn, which is fine. I actually don't mind that deck, although one of my problems is it's sort of another one of those decks that can't kill you, but that's not a miserable problem. This has to be what it is, right? What is he doing? He hasn't put Jangotha into his hand, hasn't cracked the Fabled Passage. In this weird 5... Go ahead and make him run it. Anywho, whatever. Oh god, it exiles it too, so I can't even use him for Uro. Okay, this is another one of those really boring, like, just super control-y. God, I wish the meta was in a different place than it is. Shit is the worst. It's fine. It does sort of show the pitfalls of the deck, that even the most aggressive deck doesn't have the same access to good quality tools. Oh, wait, what? Alright, Alright, so we're just running a pile of cards. That's good to know. And you're cracking it now for some reason. I gotta be honest, dude. You are breaking my brain. Have in the yard. Not enough. It's surprising to no one. I think the plan will be to run some negates. Maybe a couple of... so maybe like we bring in 2 negates. And... maybe a couple Hydroid Crasises. Crasi, however you want to plural that. Unless the plural of Crasis is like moose. Oh god, it's just a pile of cards. Alright. We're not coming back. We didn't have a counter in hand, so it's just not gonna happen. What the fuck is this guy's deck? To his credit, he might have us. We're gonna get rid of a Branch Walker, a Ranger, probably a couple of Kumenas. They just aren't gonna do dick, to be entirely frank. But this does sort of highlight, I suppose, an issue that Merfolk decks from Historic to, like, Modern and, like, you know, Legacy and stuff. I don't know what they're missing, but goddamn if it isn't just, like, it's almost there. And Kaldheim is not going to give us Merfolk, though we do have, like, I think some Changelings in that set. But I don't think they're going to help that much. But boy, oh boy, am I interested as all get out to see what, if anything, will be used to help us in our eternal quest to get Merfolk to work. Well, work better. It clearly works and does what it aims to do. But anyway, back to the game in question. I'm sitting here waxing philosophic. So we're just going to speaker and hold up the negate and attempt to start applying pressure. You going to try and kill Mathang? Gotta be honest, that wouldn't... Oh, it's negate, right. I weirdly think negate goes. Which I know sounds counterproductive in every sense of the word. I think he's just missing a white source and he can play Niv Mizzet. Because I'm convinced that this is a Niv Mizzet deck. Niv Mizzet Reborn deck, to be particular. Might as well play one of them now if you're just going to get the other. One Retreat, one Mistbinder. Because you're going to eat the other one. It does suck not to make use of the River Sneak's, like, trigger, but we had to fire it off. There's no reason not to. Goes to put Jangotha into his hand. That'll do. We'll go ahead and... yeah, we'll go ahead and ping it in. Why not? Gonna go ahead and tap down the Nicol Bolas to push through that sweet, sweet damage, baby. River Sneak goes up a point. We might actually maybe be able to, like, sneak through this. Well, okay, no, he's gonna play... Wow. Oh, okay. Good game. Or, well... Good one... Game 2, more accurately. I'm not going to be on the play in Game 3, again, which could be a genuine problem. So we got to, like, hope for a real good opening hand. I mean, that'll do it. I think we're... Because we cannot afford to... Well... I think it's smarter to... We're going to Speaker on 1, and then Mistbinder on 2, and then after that we'll Mimic and play all of our little dudes in question here. Okay. We need to be very certain about how we do this. So, Forest, Kumena Speaker, turn 1. Turn 2, since we do the Hinterland Harbor, we're going to Hinterland Harbor into Merfolk Mistbinder. Swinging for 3. This does not mean we are, however, out of the woods, but it does look good. Oh my god, he bricked. We gotta be really smart with this. We're gonna play a blue source, play Metallic Mimic, naming Merfolk, and then we're gonna play one of our Windrobbers. We get in with 5. If he bricks again, he might just scoop, at which point I'll totally take that, though we might... Well, I kind of hope he doesn't brick, though. Okay, so he just missed 1 turn, which is good. It's fine. Plays an Uro. Doesn't find another land, importantly enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Hang on. 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11... We're gonna full control and try and collect a company into Lords. That'll do. Finding a Mistbinder gives us lethal. That worked out pretty goddamn good. Our opponent did stumble for a turn, which did not help him. And as we mentioned before, or as I mentioned beforehand, I will off-screen, because I actually do play a decent amount of Magic in my free time, I will go ahead and grind up the to platinum or whatever next time, or before next stream. Now before we go, I will give one last little opportunity to look through the deck list, in case you happen to want to look for yourself. Just gotta scroll down and show the lands. Scroll back up. Show the body of the deck. And then we'll show the sideboard. Give it a couple seconds. And with that, I believe we shall probably call it for the day. So I wanted to just say thank you all. And then, ideally I should be back... I think it's on Friday will be our next upload, and I believe our next upload, or our next planned video, will be a Dimir Rogue list, more than likely. Of course, stay tuned to find out. And if you want to potentially watch me either live, you can do so at twitch.tv/SuttonShogun, and if you want to watch the VODs, or whatever potential videos I make in the future, you can go to the YouTube channel. Should also be Shut Shogun. Relatively easy to find if you can look through, because I imagine the algorithm is not too kind. But anywho, with that, I suppose we'll be off for the day. Thank you all, and I'll see you Friday, ideally.